My name is Sean Silver. I wrestle as Zane Silver.
And who would you say Zane Silver is? When you started and who he is today?
When I was a kid, Zane Silver is somebody that I drew in 5th grade on the back of a notebook. And it was just a guy with a karate headband on that was in the sunset, and the wind was blowing his headband. And I was inspired by movies like Bloodsport, people like Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bruce Lee. And I always enjoyed the honor and the respect and the discipline it takes going into that, having a martial art and being disciplined in an area and taking it seriously and making it an art. Not just looking at it as a sport or as a competition, but as an art and embracing it.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Combination Combat Kid. My real name is Jason. Jason Brewer. I guess we're saying our real names. I don't know, but they call me Combination Combat Kid. Or AKA KKK, they call me. When I come up with that when I was very young, and I was very aware of racism because we grew up in a mostly black city. So I didn't start as KKK. I started as in a different acronym, and then as a rib, someone put KKK on a video, and then so they just ran with it. I just ran with it for my whole life. So, and honestly, the hood was pretty acceptable to it. They were really cool with that. So. Yeah, I'll say Combination Combat Kid. Like when we first started, it was like I was overly cocky, trying to make up for something that really wasn't there, being over the top with anger and stuff like that. But now I'm like much more comfortable with myself. In the role of a mentor, in the role of a legend in the community. I started here when I was 14, 15, and now as a grown man, like I am accepting that with my character and in my personal life as well.
That's awesome. So you mentioned that legend, people look up to you. So how do you think you got to that point? How does that? Do you feel responsibility with that? How does it ego? Anything? You just want to speak on that?
Yeah, no, I love speaking on that actually. So just for me, I take the responsibility personally. When the community started breaking down, I went out of my way to go to the shows, even with people that I don't know, just to bridge the gap between the communities. After Backyard Wrestling linked to the Global Backyard Wrestling Network, that was important to me to bridge the gap. So that's something I feel really strongly about. I really do. Being a mentor for these guys, having the kind of matches that this generation's having, not necessarily mine. And filling every role that needs to be. I'll be a bad guy one day, a good guy another day. And I love doing that because I just love this community so much.
Which again, that's exactly why I'm doing this. So when you guys, first of all, how did you discover this community? Which message board?
WrestleFigs.
WrestleFigs. So what did you think when you stumbled across this? Like, I guess maybe the more important question is when you got familiar with this message board. Why do you feel that this was so important to like dig your teeth into? Why did this group of people appeal to you?
Well, I found it actually through Jason. I didn't start backyard wrestling until I was 17 years old. I started a lot later than other people. And I met Jason through a friend and got introduced to backyard wrestling through a mutual friend. And me and Jason became friends, and I remember just going over his house, and we'd sit in his basement back when people actually had computers and not just laptops for their phones. We're sitting in the basement in front of the computer in the dark, and he was showing me this thing called the Backyard Wrestling Link. And I was just kind of new to wrestling at the time, and I was getting passionate about it. We were challenging each other to get better. We wanted to get better because we were passionate about wrestling, and not just the wrestling, about the community, of the friendship that we were building with others around us. And when I seen the link, when he introduced me to the link, I'm like, wow, there's a lot more people out there that look at wrestling like us. That want to challenge themselves, challenge others, and have a good time, and not just wrestle, but love wrestling, and that being okay. Sometimes in professional wrestling, it looks at almost as not okay. If you're a mark for wrestling, it's like almost not okay. It's a negative.
Yeah.
And in backyard, it's not like that. It's part of the community. It's part of the grain of who we are. It's what brings us. A big part of what brings us together is our love for what we do and our love of each other. I want to go out there and perform for myself, yes, and my own artist and my own integrity, but I also want to perform for others, for them to enjoy, because the more they enjoy, the more I enjoy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
I watched Backyard Wrestling Link when I was really young, like 14, 15. I was on WrestleFigs, but I was actually scared of the Backyard Wrestling Link when I was younger. There's no way I can post my footage with guys like this. You know, I really genuinely looked up to them, and I used to like emulate Scott Henson, like emulate Yakuza J when I was a kid, like stuff like that. So, and then I finally, around 16 or whatever, I decided to start actually posting, and it took a lot from me. And well, I don't even remember the question anymore. Are we talking about our journey through it?
Essentially, yeah. So I'll because my next question kind of builds off of that. I was just gonna ask, what was your guys' impression of your first Super Show?
Okay, we definitely have different answers for that.
Right.
This is something I'm really am like passionate about talking about. Just for me personally, we both grow up in a pretty poor city. Not everybody gets to even leave the city, leave the state, stuff like that. So that was pretty much an impossibility to me as young. My parents saved up and they flew me out to Rhode Island when I just turned 16 for like a birthday present to do my first Super Show. And that was something that like I thought it was only gonna happen one time in my life because people weren't afforded that where we come from type of thing. So, you know, I made the most of it. I did this crazy bump and that people still talk about now with the Blue Thunder to the outside. And but when I got there, I knew, no, I need more of this. I need this community in my life. And we talk about this quite often. And I know a lot of guys probably talked about this when you're talking to them, but the community, like Backyard Wrestling kept me away from like drug dealing, away from robbing more. It kept me out of jail, man. It gave me some positive male role models because it's something like a lot of us didn't have. You know, I really owe everything to this community. I really do. I literally remember it was completely blind. We went to Drew Cordero. I flew to Drew Cordero's house. We didn't have smartphones or nothing, dude. I only had 50 minutes on my Nokia. You know, my parents were worried sick. I had like $60 on my person. And they took care of me so well. And I've never felt that kind of camaraderie in my life. And we literally hand wrote Drew and his parents letters and like sent them to them, you know, because it meant so much to my family that I was safe, that I could leave and be safe, because that's not something I was afforded in my regular life.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah. If you wouldn't mind answering, and then just because of time, I'm sorry, I'll ask you guys one more question after this, and then I want to touch on anything afterwards.
Definitely, yeah. My first Backyard Super Show was actually Abyss, also known as Abyss 2. I went with Jason. Of course, we drove. Jason had already gone to a couple Backyard Wrestling Super Shows before then. It was my first time going, and you know, Jason's already went and he's had crazy matches with Soy and had crazy bumps. He's really set the tone. So I'm going there. I'm coming along with, you know, Combination Combat King over here, and I feel like I have a lot to live up to. My best friend over here is destroying it. I got to come here and I got to, you know, perform well. So I had a lot of anxiety about, I gotta go there, I gotta perform well, I gotta make sure everyone likes me, because everyone liking me will depend on how good I perform. I almost felt that way. And when I got there, you know, I had a good performance. I wish I would have performed better, even so, but still, the community and the hangouts and everything, all the interactions I had didn't matter about my performance. You know, people accepted people in this community with open arms, you know, and we came in, and it's notoriously still to this day known as one of the best hangouts at any ever Super Show ever. And
for sure,
I was hooked from that. I wanted to come to more shows, wrestle more. I started taking wrestling more seriously in pro, and trying to come to more backyard Super Shows at the time as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have talked about this at all, but I hope you have, but. Especially back in the day, it was so important. The hangouts were so important. There's literally like just nothing like it in the world of getting together with 30 just dudes from all over the country, all over the world, and you forget about your troubles, you forget about your bullshit. No one cares about what your girl said to you yesterday. No one cares about your test you flunk. We're just having the most pure fun that you can possibly have. No one's taking anything serious. No one's having a bad time, a hard time. It's just the hangouts are so special, right? They really are.
People look forward to that more than I think the actual show.
Oh yeah, tonight, like literally tonight, I was like, tonight's the main event.
Yeah, this is it right here.
I want to come and hang. I want to talk to everybody, have a meaningful conversation with everyone at least. Yeah, absolutely.
That's where the memories happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Which actually brings me to what I was going to ask next is, well, firstly, whenever you heard about this show, and happening, how did you feel? And now that we're in the thick of it, what's it like? What do you hope to take away from this weekend? What's the biggest thing you hope to leave here with? So what did you feel about when you first heard that the show was happening? And what's your biggest thing you hope to leave with this weekend?
What do you want?
So, when I heard this show was happening, I almost didn't take it seriously, almost. The link, even though it was a big part of my life, it almost wasn't that long time ago. It just feels like almost a lifetime ago. And when I heard about this, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, maybe it'll happen. Maybe some guys will come together. Maybe it'll be a good time. I don't know if I'm interested, but when it came down to it, it was a big part of my life, a huge part of my life, and who I am today. I've met my best friend through wrestling. I've met my wife through wrestling. I've met all the most important people in my life because of wrestling. And I wouldn't be who I am today at all. I wouldn't be the man I am today. I love wrestling. I love what backyard wrestling did for me. And that's all.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I definitely had. When I heard the show was happening, I definitely had mixed feelings a little bit. I had in the back of my head I have to be here, but it was hard for me to commit a little bit. Yeah, I will say when Scott passed, it kind of made me like I have to be here, because we don't know when the last time we're gonna see each other, type of thing. So yeah, just like seeing Chris Frank, like seeing like these old school guys like show up, like seeing Rigor Mortis today, connecting with the younger crowd that I've just been Facebook friends with, but we're not like necessarily close, like type of deal. Like connecting with these guys this weekend's been so nice. Literally, I think I brought it up to you maybe 3 weeks ago or something. And I was like, I'm going for real. And then he was like, fuck it, you're right. Like, let's just go. We're gonna go. I don't know if I should say this.
Speak freely.
Cheers. I hope that the footage comes out in the right spirit. I don't personally believe in like monetizing the community at all. That's kind of how I feel. But so I hope that the footage comes out in a way where it's like, what is this? It's like, oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. We do a teaser, and then you have to wait a week, and then you get the video, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you get the matches, and it's like, it's crazy. I would love like an old school rollout, but personally, I just want to keep it like in a special sense. I don't want it to be something else. I don't want to do like multiple shows after this. I think maybe like one more would be sick. I know for a fact that when this shit comes out, so many people are gonna come out and go, well, we gotta do one more. I should have came. I didn't know you guys are really doing it. Like, we're really gonna do this? I know that's happening. We're gonna do another one. Let's be serious.
Everybody, I'm sure, is texting everybody that's not here, and they're regretting it. So it's probably...
We're doing another one. I know it's happening. I know it's gonna happen.
We're coming to Michigan.
Period. Let's go.
That's perfect for us.
Perfect. Yeah, I got a school we can do it at. Let's do it. I feel like we're gonna do another one. That is how I feel. But I would like to keep it at maybe that. That's just how I feel, but whatever. That might be controversial because I know a lot of guys kind of want to keep this going. If there's any other like little blurbs that people have been talking about throughout here, I can hit real quick and not like take too much time.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. And I don't mean to rush you guys too, which I don't want to. For one, it's getting late. I don't want to keep everybody.
Absolutely.
We got a little bit of a drive ourselves.
Are there any other?
I was just gonna ask for whatever you would prefer, because everybody's kind of talking about how no matter where you are in this country, you know that you could call X and they're gonna take care of you. They're gonna give you a place to stay. They're gonna help you change your tire.
Well,
so that kind of seems a big common theme of what everybody feels about each other.
Oh.
So everybody knows that everybody's just like this.
I love that. That's beautiful because of this community. I lived in Michigan, but a majority of the shows are on the East Coast. So I have traveled up and down the East Coast. I did it for years. That's like what I did for a majority of my adolescent life, for real, is just travel with these guys up and down the East Coast. So that is real. If I'm in New Jersey, I have people to call. If I'm in Pennsylvania, any part of Pennsylvania, I have someone to call. So that is really special. It really is. And I have used it. I've been in New York and been like, who's here? And people have hit me up. I'm here. So the community it really is special that way. If you're in the Midwest, you're in the East Coast, somebody's going to be able to help you out for sure.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And then for you to get one last thing from you, well, not everybody, but Soy Boy actually said it outside. He goes that this is the high school that I would have loved to go to, meeting everybody here. So, any thoughts on something like that?
Well, I mean, to kind of harp on what I said earlier, a lot of that's about our community being built on wanting each other to strive and each other to do their best. And, that's what high school is all about, is setting yourself up for the rest of your life to do the best you can. And a lot of people think a support system is really important in that, and of course it is. And that's what backyard wrestling and the backyard wrestling brought to people, is a support system where they knew people had their backs. They knew people were there to catch them when they fell, or when they did a 630 dive, or whatever they wanted to do. Okay, we trust each other with our lives.
Right.
Okay. So a lot of people, you take that and you take that in other areas of your life. This guy's gonna save me from, literally breaking my neck. I know I can depend on him. If I need a hand in life, if I need a favor. I
love that analogy actually, because it's like a lot of positive male role models will be like, hey, start taking these classes in college. Like my role models were like, this is how you take a dragon suplex. And you take it safe. It's okay. We can do it off the top. It'll be fine. I got you. That type of thing. I think that's such a special bond, that other people will never feel. To give your body to somebody you trust like that. It's really interesting life to live. That's for sure.
Which is why I wanted to tell this story.
All right.
So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for doing this. Is there anything that you'd want to say just before we wrap it up?
No, I'm happy with this because I liked Lee's documentary, but I feel like it was the same. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I feel like it was the same vibe where it was Lee's I'm really doing this. I'm gonna document it. Everyone was just like, whatever, dude, blah blah blah. And then when it came out, they're like, oh shit, I should have fucking said something on the documentary. And I feel so I'm glad that we're gonna recap and we're gonna revisit this. Yeah. I think it's good.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
I just hope when people look back, we're all getting older. When people look back later in life, they have a lot less regrets, and a lot more things to smile about because of what we've done at these shows and, on these message boards and with each other, I hope they look back and they're able to smile, and be happy. That's all.
Yeah, that's beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.